All right, so we're diving into classical languages, lecturer interviews today.
Yeah, using all these RoleCatcher resources
These career guides and interview
to
guides.
give you that extra edge.
Yeah, it's like having a cheat sheet for your interview.
Not just what they'll ask, but why.
And how to make your answers really stand out.
Exactly.
So let's just jump right in.
Sounds good.
Let's start with some of those classic interview questions.
The ones that can really trip people up.
Yeah, RoleCatcher has a whole bunch of them.
But we'll focus on the most important ones.
The ones that really get to the heart of what it means to be a classical languages lecturer.
Exactly.
So for example,
Mm-hmm.
what inspired you to pursue a career in classical languages?
Yes, that one.
Now you could just list off all the Latin classes you've taken.
Right. That's not very interesting.
It's not going to make you stand out.
No, you need to go deeper.
Think about that moment when you really got hooked.
That spark.
Yeah, was it a book?
A trip to Greece or Rome.
A professor who brought the subject to life?
Share that story.
Let your personality shine through.
Show them your passion.
Okay, here's another one.
Okay.
How do you approach teaching classical languages to students with different learning styles?
This one's all about showing you understand that not everyone learns in the same way.
Right, some students are visual learners.
Others are auditory.
Some are kinesthetic.
Exactly.
So how do you adapt?
How do you make sure everyone's getting it?
Do you use visual aids?
Maps, timelines,
Role-playing?
dramatic readings.
What about technology?
Yes, technology can be really powerful.
Language learning apps?
Online resources.
Even virtual reality?
Think outside the box.
Create engaging experiences.
All right, what's next?
How about this one? How do you incorporate technology into your teaching methods?
Now, obviously, you're not going to be teaching Latin through TikTok dances.
No, but there are ways to blend the ancient and the modern.
Think about interactive software.
Online forums for discussion.
Virtual tours of ancient sites.
Students could even create digital projects.
Websites, podcasts.
Exploring different aspects of classical culture.
It's all about showing you're not stuck in the past.
You're embracing the present.
Bringing these ancient languages to life for today's students.
Okay, this next one can be tricky.
Oh yeah, I know this one.
How do you motivate students who are struggling with classical languages?
This is where you show your empathy.
You care about your students' success.
You're willing to go the extra mile.
Think about specific strategies.
Extra help sessions.
Peer mentoring. Breaking down complex concepts.
And don't forget positive reinforcement.
Sometimes all a student needs is a little encouragement.
A belief that they can do it.
Now let's talk about your teaching philosophy.
Big one.
They might ask, what is your teaching philosophy?
What are your core beliefs about teaching and learning?
Do you believe in a student-centered approach?
Emphasize critical thinking.
Independent learning.
Think about how your philosophy aligns with the specific institution you're interviewing at.
Do your research beforehand. Make sure your values are a good fit.
All right, let's switch gears a bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about challenges.
Everyone faces challenges.
So they might ask, can you describe a time when you faced a difficult teaching situation and how you resolved it?
The key here is to choose an example that shows your problem-solving skills,
Your professionalism.
your ability to learn from experience,
Maybe you had a disruptive student.
or a group project that went off the rails.
Walk them through the situation
Explain the steps you took.
and highlight the positive outcome. Don't be afraid to show you're human.
Everyone makes mistakes.
It's about learning from them.
Okay, what else?
How about this one? How do you promote diversity and inclusivity in the classroom?
This is a really important one.
You need to show you're committed to creating a welcoming environment for all students.
Regardless of their background,
Their beliefs.
their identities,
Do you incorporate diverse texts and perspectives into your curriculum?
do you use inclusive language?
Avoid making assumptions.
Think about specific examples. How have you created an inclusive classroom in the past?
Did you facilitate discussions about cultural differences?
Create opportunities for students to share their perspectives.
These are all good things to highlight.
Okay, one last question for this section.
Shoot.
Can you describe a time when you collaborated with other teachers or departments to enhance the learning experience for your students?
This one's about teamwork.
Academia is not a solitary pursuit.
You'll be collaborating all the time.
With colleagues,
Administrators.
students from other departments,
Think about a time when you worked on a cross-curricular project.
or reached out to another department for resources.
Highlight the positive impact on your students.
How did this collaboration enrich their learning experience?
All right, I think we covered a lot there.
We did. We talked about all sorts of challenging interview questions.
And how to approach them.
But before we move on,
Yes.
let's talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answers to specific job roles.
Oh, yeah, this is a game changer.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
The AI analyzes the job description,
Identifies keywords and skills.
provides feedback on your answers.
Helps you identify areas for improvement.
So you're not just practicing in a vacuum,
You're getting targeted feedback.
tailoring your message to the specific institution and position you're applying for.
It's incredibly powerful.
It really is.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
There's so much more to explore.
So much more to learn about this exciting career path.
I can't wait to dive into the rest of it.
Me neither.
Let's do it. Welcome back to our deep dive. So we just finished talking about those tough interview questions.
Yeah, those are always a bit nerve-wracking.
But now let's shift gears a bit.
Okay, where are we headed?
Let's look at the bigger picture, the career itself.
So beyond just getting the job,
Exactly. RoleCatcher's career guide has some great insights.
about what it really means to be a classical languages lecturer.
The day-to-day, the challenges, the rewards.
Okay, let's dig in.
Sounds good. So one thing that really stood out to me was this emphasis on continuous learning.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
It's not just about getting your Ph.D. and then coasting.
You have to stay on top of things.
Absolutely. The field is constantly evolving, new discoveries, new perspectives, new teaching methods.
It's like being a lifelong student.
In a way, yes, you have to be curious.
Always learning, always growing.
Exactly. And that can take many forms: attending conferences, reading journals, engaging in online forums.
So it's about staying connected to the wider academic community.
Precisely. And that can even come up in the interview.
Oh, how so?
They might ask you, how do you stay current with developments in classical languages, research, and pedagogy?
And that's your chance to shine.
Exactly. You can talk about specific conferences, you've attended journals, you've read online communities you're a part of.
It shows you're not just passionate, but also actively engaged.
Right. You're a true scholar.
Now, what about the challenges facing the field? RoleCatcher talks about those too,
Yes, it's important to be aware of those.
and be able to talk about them intelligently.
They might ask, what are some of the biggest challenges facing the field of classical languages today?
That's a tough one.
It is, but it's also an opportunity to show your depth of understanding.
Okay, so what are some of the challenges?
Well, you could talk about declining enrollment in humanities programs.
Yeah, that's a big one.
The pressure to make ancient languages relevant to modern students.
The limited funding for research?
Those are all valid points.
But it's not enough to just list problems.
Right, you have to offer solutions.
Or at least ideas for solutions.
Exactly. You could talk about your own ideas for making classical languages more engaging.
Or how you've successfully incorporated technology into your teaching.
To reach a wider audience.
Show them you're a problem solver.
Someone who's not afraid of a challenge.
Now, RoleCatcher also emphasizes the importance of showcasing your capabilities.
Yeah, yes. It's not just what you know.
It's what you've done.
Your experience, your accomplishment.
They might ask, can you share an example of a successful research project you've worked on?
This is your chance to highlight your skills.
Your methodology, your results, your impact.
Did your research change the way we understand a particular text?
Did it contribute to a new pedagogical approach?
These are the things that will make you stand out.
So publications are important.
Yes, but it's not just about publications.
What else?
Presenting at conferences, participating in workshops, creating online resources,
It's about making your work visible.
sharing your knowledge with the world,
And if you have an online portfolio,
or a personal website.
don't be afraid to mention it.
It shows you're proactive.
You're taking initiative.
You're passionate about your work.
Now let's talk about career progression.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in 5 years?
10 years.
RoleCatcher outlines a typical path.
Starting with those entry-level positions.
Assisting senior lecturers,
Grading papers.
getting your feet wet with research.
But each stage requires a different skill set.
Gotta bear in mind.
So they might ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
And you don't want to just say, I want to be a professor.
That's too vague.
You need to be more specific.
Talk about your research goals,
Your teaching ambitions.
your leadership aspirations. Paint a picture of your future contributions to the field.
Show them you have a plan.
But let's be realistic. Academia is competitive.
It is. There's no denying that.
So how do you stand out?
RoleCatcher addresses this head on.
They talk about the limited job market.
But they also emphasize the importance of adaptability.
So they might ask, given the competitive nature of this field, how do you plan to stand out as a candidate?
This is where you highlight your unique skills and experiences.
If you have experience with digital humanities,
Or you've taught Latin to underprivileged communities,
those are valuable assets.
things that set you apart.
And don't forget about your interdisciplinary interests.
Those can be a real asset.
They might ask, how would you incorporate your passion for history or art or philosophy into your teaching?
This shows you can think outside the box.
You can connect classical languages to other fields.
Make them relevant and engaging for today's students.
So it's about being a multifaceted scholar.
Someone who can bring a unique perspective to the table.
Now, before we wrap up this section,
Yes.
let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI.
It really is an amazing tool.
It can help you with so much more than just interview prep.
Think about networking, for example.
Finding mentors, connecting with peers in your field,
RoleCatcher can help you build a network.
that will support you throughout your career,
It's like having a whole team behind you.
cheering you on every step of the way. Welcome back to our deep dive. We've covered interview questions, we talked about career paths, and now I'm really excited for this part.
Me too. This is where we get to the heart of it all.
Yeah, like, what's it really like to be a classical languages lecturer?
Beyond the job description, beyond the interview,
RoleCatcher gives us a glimpse into the day-to-day,
the real nitty-gritty.
and they're honest about the challenges.
Oh yeah, it's not all sunshine and roses.
We talked about the competitive job market.
But there's also the potential for heavy workloads.
Long hours, lots of grading.
And let's be real, the salaries aren't always great.
So why do people do it?
That's the question, isn't it?
What keeps them going?
I think it comes down to passion.
Passion for the subject.
Exactly. The guide is full of stories of lecturers who are just so driven by their love of these languages.
Worlds they unlock.
The history, the literature, the culture.
It's like stepping back in time.
In a way, yes. And these lectures, they talk about the thrill of deciphering an ancient inscription.
The joy of sharing that aha moment with a student.
The feeling of contributing to a field that spans millennia.
Wow, that's pretty powerful.
It is. There's a real sense of purpose.
The guide even uses the phrase custodians of culture.
I love that phrase. It really captures the essence of the role.
So it's more than just a job.
It's a calling.
But what if our listeners thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but can I actually do this?
It's a valid question.
That's a big commitment.
And that's where mentorship comes in.
Finding your academic tribe.
Connecting with experienced lecturers, attending conferences, joining professional organizations.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who get it.
Who share your passion, who can offer guidance and support.
Because academia can be a tough world to navigate alone.
It really can, and RoleCatcher's AI can actually help with this too.
Oh, how so?
Their platform connects you with potential mentors, peers in your field, even job opportunities tailored to your interests.
Wow, so it's like a whole support system.
Exactly. It's not just about finding a job.
It's about building a career.
And a community.
So let's talk about success.
What does it mean to be successful in this field?
Is it about publishing groundbreaking research?
Winning awards.
Getting tenure?
Well, RoleCatcher offers a range of perspectives.
For some, it's about making a real contribution to the field.
Advancing our understanding of ancient languages and cultures.
For others, it's about inspiring students.
Sharing their passion with the next generation.
And for some, it's about finding that perfect balance between research, teaching, and service.
It's really about defining your own goals.
Finding a path that aligns with your values.
And remembering that success is a journey, not a destination.
There will be challenges along the way.
Setbacks, rejections, moments of doubt.
But it's about persevering.
Learning from your mistakes and coming back stronger.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
what's the one key takeaway you'd want our listener to remember?
I'd say if you're truly passionate about classical languages,
And you have a deep desire to share that passion with others.
then a career as a classical languages lecturer might be the perfect fit.
It's a challenging path.
But it's also incredibly rewarding.
And the resources from RoleCatcher can help you every step of the way
From prepping for your interview to building your career.
to finding your place in this amazing field.
It's been a pleasure exploring all of this with you.
Likewise, and to our listener out there, good luck on your journey.
We're rooting for you.
And remember, the world needs more people who are passionate about the classics.
Go out there and make your mark.